Hi, happy Wednesday. Sorry, the boys are, my big boy's here today with Jonah, and Josh is here too, and they're talking about allotments and stuff. So if you hear chattering in the background, it's just them talking about plants and starting an allotment. So they were getting very animated about compost a minute ago. Hopefully you're all okay. We've actually had snow. Can you believe it? In Dinis, we never get snow. It's like a microclimate here. We never get any really adverse weather. Occasionally rain, but yeah, we've actually got snow. It's already turned to slush, which is very disappointing. But yeah, it's very chilly. It's very chilly, but it's very nice. I do like snow. Let's say hello to some people. Hi Natalie, hi Melba. Hello my darlings. Hope you're all okay. So, quick reminder that these lovely charm packs that I showed yesterday are on the website, and they're all at £7 each. Okay, so if you are looking for charm packs or new quilts or quick quilts, these are on at £7. So we've got Picnic Pop, Merrymaking and Stitched. They are just in the charm packs section. They're not in the clearance section or anything. So go to charm packs and they're like the first few there. So those are still on offer. Hi Carol, hello lovely. Hi Jane, very cold, Polesworth, no snow yet, just a few flakes, yeah. It woke up this morning, it's a proper little blanket of white, but it's already turned to slush, it's raining now. You had light slow but not settling. No, it's not, well, it did settle a bit overnight, but it's like I said, it's raining now, slush. It's not fair, it's ugly now. It was all pretty this morning, it's beautiful. Hi Sheila, hi Kate, hello darling, hi Jean, hi Grace, hello my lovelies. So, what we're going to do, we're going to have a bit of an experiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. So this was something I've been playing around with wool scraps. So I had a wool scrap back, which we are taking on to Create and Craft next week. It's one of the Moda scrap packs, but they're all normally they're all the 100% wool ones. So I just wanted to make a little sample up really quick. I just realised I've got a little thread there. Really quick, just so that it's something to show on screen. So just played around with them and stitched them down, and then just literally like this kind of slightly improv-y, wiggly, staggered type look. It's, I wanted it to be a bit quirky. So that's where I've gone with that. And I'm just going to make it into a cushion, fill it out, and just so we've got a splash of colour with the wool. But as I was doing this, I was thinking, oh, well, this actually really would work with a layer cake. It would be a really quick and simple block to do with a layer cake. So we're going to do, I had this one that I've started, which I used some strips for demos, so I've got the rest of the jelly roll here. So I thought, well, let's have a little play with this jelly roll and have a little go at this staggered ladder. So I've just realised I haven't got my ruler, so give me a second, my darlings. Grab a ruler. There we go. So who else is coming online? Hi Marion, hi Heather, hi Anne, hello Sheila, hello everybody. So got an opened up jelly roll. This would work really well with any scraps as well. So you could just grab a scrap bucket. I think actually if you did it all tonally as well, like if you did it all in blues, all in reds, all in pinks, it would look really good, and you could stagger it like ombre, but we'll get to that. And I thought we'll just have a little go at how quickly and easy you can put a block together. You would get a lot of blocks. They make quite a big block. It makes like a 16.5-inch block this as well. So I'm going to layer up 4 of them. 1, 2, let's get a bit of variety of colour. Let's get a bit of yellow in there. There we go, let's have that one. 3, like that. And what haven't I got? Let's have a bit of blue, a bit of strong. Oh, no, let's go with the grey. And you want a variety of blocks for this, a variety of colours. But don't have to, like I said, don't have to use a jelly roll. You could just cut these out of scraps. So I'm going to do 2.5 by 4. Okay, so let's go with, just going to cut through there. I'm going to line up my ruler with my jelly roll, grab my rotary cutter, which has managed to get all the way over there. Hi Barbara, hello lovely, hi Marilyn. And I'm going to cut just a couple of 2.5 by 4-inch pieces. Could go 4.5 if you want, but I'm going to go 4 just to give it a bit of a different look, a bit of a shorter, more like a brickwork type look. And then I'm going to grab another few jelly rolls. Let's get a bit of green in there now. Let's have one of those. And let's have have we got a bit of blue in there? This is the Shores one that I'm using. Let's have a bit of that blue. We have got a couple of these left, I think, on the website. It's we've definitely got it on the bolts as well. But it's beautiful. I like this a lot. Let's have a white one in there. And I thought it'd be nice to see it because I'd done the other one in those really bright colours. And it was quite thick and heavy because it was wool. It'd be interesting to get one of those as well. Do it in a real pale colour as well. So again, I'm going to cut some 2.5 by 4s like that. So this is real improv. This is really just kind of going, right, what have I got? What can I do with this? Rather than, oh, excuse me, Josh, could you get me a glass of water, please, lovely? I am, it's where I brushed all the fluff. I think I've got it stuck on the back of my throat. It's tickled. What I've got now is a variety of 2.5 by 4 inch, but you could vary this. It doesn't have to be 4 inch. It could be any colour at all, any size at all. I just went with this size, okay? So I've got a little variety of ones like that. And what I want to do is I'm going to make a little row. So I'm going to mix and match them, make a little row of 5 strips. I'm going to sew them together end to end. Thanks, Joe. Thank you. Tub. Excuse me while I just slurp a second. John, you're watching while you're packing kits. How are you doing? I am doing really well, lovely, apart from the fact I've just managed to swallow all the fluff. It's got caught in my mouth. What kits are you packing? Anything interesting? Tell us. Where, and you, where can we get them? Okay, so I'm just going to pop these on. Like I said, this is really sort of loose. You're not going to think about this too much. I just want to give them a bit of variety like that. And then we're going to do another one as well. Cut as many scraps or bits of jelly roll as you can. I would just say, just plan it a weeny bit. You know I don't majorly do planning, but plan it a weeny bit so you've got nothing touching. I think that gives it a nice scrappy look. So let's have that one up there. Gonna have that one there. There we go. Green one there in the middle. That one and then that one there. Okay, so we're going to just sew those together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go like that, and pair them up a little bit like that, right sides together. I'm going to leave the last one of each one on by itself. Obviously I don't want to pair that up because otherwise I'd have a row of 6 instead of 5. Hi Claire, hi Patricia, hello my darlings. And what we're going to do is we're just going to nip over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew down 1/4 inch on all of these pairs, and we're going to chain stitch these. Okay, so I'm just going to get them all ready. So we're going to chuck them on the sewing machine. I quite like a bit of a, don't get me wrong, we do lots of complicated blocks and stuff and things that require lots of cutting, but I thought sometimes you just want something quick, don't you? So hopefully we're over here now and that's working. Let me know if it is, because I had to reset all the cameras a moment ago. So, oh yeah, I can see it is now. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on and we're just going to chain piece away. So, there we go. And for those of you who, obviously most of you do know, but for those of you who don't know, if you're chain piecing, just sew slightly off, just a couple of stitches, and then you can feed in your next one. There we go, like that. Means it's nice and quick piecing. Who else is there? Hi Maggie, hello my darling, how are you? Yeah. There we go, I'm just going to have that one on. There we go, that one there. And through to the last one. Okay. Now I'm not going to even bother ironing these out, we'll do those out at the end, so I'm just going to quickly clip them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to sew them together again. So add them, open them out. You can see I've got the 2 there. We're going to open ththose 2 out, and I'm just going to add that one on. So this is like super fast piecing as well, but you could, now I'm doing it so that it comes out as a 16-inch block, 16.5 inch block. But there is nothing stopping you doing a whole quilt like this. You could make long rows of these. You could put 30 of these little pieces together. Make lots of long big strips. And don't do it as blocks. Just do it as, like one big quilt. There we go, like that. Add that one on. Just really quickly chain piece those away. So again, try not to think too much about where they're all going. All right, so I can go back over here, okay, and I'm going to iron those out now. Now I really do need to get a new mat. I've got my nice, like, clean, fresh one, which you can see the iron mark on it and everything, which I use for Create and Craft. But this one is like, the trouble is, it's still in really, like, it's in good nick. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just grubby. It's all the starch, I think. So we're going to just iron these out. And because we're not going to be nesting, it doesn't really matter which way you iron the seams. So we're just going for it. I'm just going to do them all the same way. And then add that one on next. I think I got those out of order because I've managed to put those two together. But we'll put this in between so they're not touching. So what have you all been up to? Is anybody... It is really easy, isn't it, Sandra? Yeah, really nice and easy one. Are you all okay? Has anybody been up to anything interesting? So I'm going to put the grey one on there now. So I'm going back to those single ones. If I put that one on there, that's going to push it out of the way, isn't it? So they don't touch. I'm going to put that one that end and then that one at that end. And I'm just going to sew those together now as well. So we're just going to do 1/4 of an inch all the way down. And you would make as many of these little strips as you wanted to. You know, so I think I worked out you needed 6 for a block, but we'll get there in a moment. And then out of your scraps, I just think this would be a really nice, easy one for scraps. We've all got hundreds of scraps. Or if you've got a scrap pack, you know, one of the Moda scrap packs. This would be a nice, easy pattern for that. So, there we go. Back over here, and we can iron again, and those 3 are already done. And you've been looking at week 1 of the disease cow. What's the disease cow, love? Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that an autocorrect? Do you mean the coronation? Is it autocorrected to disease? You're starting the coronation blanket too, Jane. Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your makes on that. Please do pop pictures onto the Gigglers bit to let me see how it's going. I genuinely, I'd like to make it, but I just don't have time to start anything else. So we're not going to do that. So there we go. So just burn the table. So you would make as many as you wanted with this. We'll make some more in a moment if we get time, but I just want to show you how to put these together. So you're going to stagger these. So I'm going to start with that's my top one, okay? And I want to offset this, so I don't want it. In fact, let's do it that way round. There we go. So can you see that I just happen to have these two together? I don't want that, so I'm just going to flip it over. You could absolutely, if you wanted to, sew them together like that and nest, but make sure you then nest those points. But what I think is quite nice is when we stagger this. Now, you could be really precise if you want to and stagger it exact, like 2 inches down. But I quite like that slightly looser look where we stagger just whatever we feel like. I mean, obviously don't do it massively, but just, you know, I don't necessarily want that line to line up with that one. You know, I'd quite like that slightly quirky way. I love a scrappy quilt. I love a scrappy quilt too. Marilyn, you've got loads of scraps, thinking of putting them together in reds, pinks, etc. to start sorting. That's a really good idea, lovely. Really good idea. I think sometimes as well, you know, you could do a block like this and do one block out of red, one block out of yellow, one out of blue and all that sort of thing. Sandra, you're off to Australia next week looking for more material. Oh, nice. Love that idea. Different fabrics, because we all get different fabrics. You're gonna have to show us your haul when you get back. And that's you having a little cheeky watch while at work. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put them right sides together, and you can see there's no nesting because one seam's down here and one's up here, so it's nice and easy. 1/4 inch all the way down. So we're going to do that. Back over we go. Right, talk to me, ladies, because and gents, because otherwise it's just me wittering on, and nobody wants that. What's your favourite? Oh, we haven't done a challenge post for ages, have we? Let's do a challenge post, and I'll find a nice little prize for you. So let's go scrappy, since we're talking about doing scrappy quilts. Hi, Lindsay Lou. Hope you're well, darling. I'm just controlling that seam a little bit. I haven't pinned anything, but just controlling it a weeny bit, realigning where I need to. So I'm going to pop a challenge post on, and I want you to show me your scrappy, okay? I want any scrappy project. It doesn't have to be fabric scraps. It could be a wool scrap one or a felted scrap one, whatever you like. Again, I'm not going to iron that to start with. I'm just going to open that out now, and I'm going to add my next one on. So my next one is going to come on, and I want it to be on this side here. And oh, actually no, I need to show you that bit. Sorry, let's come back over here. So I've sewn that together, and you've got that happening. Okay, so you've got that little offset bit. You want this one to be roughly in line with this top edge here. I don't know if you can see that on camera, this top edge here. Because you want it, when you're cutting out the blocks, then you want to be able to get an easy block out. So I don't quite want that one to match. So I am going to go a weeny bit bigger, but you don't want to go too far, okay? Just to give that sort of off-stented staggered. Lynn, you're making bibs and bandana bibs and reusable breast pads. You know, your wife's nephew's just had a baby girl. She's 5 days old. Oh, congratulations. Oh, how cute. Cute, cute, cute. So I'm going to add that one on like that. So each row, we're just going to offset a weeny bit. So I'm going to push that to there like that. And I want to sew this line here now. So hold on tight to it, take it over to the machine, and we're going to do 1/4 inch all the way down there. Janet, hi there, do you do White Gecko advent calendar boxes or calendars? We have done it in the past, lovely. We didn't do one last year because we didn't have much uptake for it. We do our subscription box, which is a monthly thing, where you get 5 fat quarters and a pattern, which you won't have seen before. It's a new pattern each month, and thread. And you can buy them just by the 1 month or 3 months or 6 months, entirely up to you. We might look at doing a proper advent calendar this year. If there's a call for it, then we will do. But we didn't have much uptake when we did it, so we didn't do it this like last year. There we go. And then back over here. And we're going to just iron this out now, okay? So iron press it out. So I'm just going to set that seam like that. And then we're just going to gently roll this out. So I suppose this is kind of a variation of like almost like a rail fence type thing, isn't it? Or the brick quilt, you know, but just a little bit less, you know, what's the word, constructed. And then I'm just going to iron that, set that seam like that, relax those stitches, and then gently press that out like that. I do quite like the idea of doing this in colours though. If you did all one block in your one colour and then all one block in another colour, I think it might look quite effective. Okay, there we go. So that is now measuring. What's that measuring? Let's have a little look. So that's already measuring 6.5. So I'm going to need to add in another. I think I worked out. Is it going to be 7? So I want them to be just over 16 wide. Brain's gone. 8. I need 8 of them. Sorry, 8. So we're gonna. I'm not going to make all 8 because we will be here too long. But I'm going to make another one so you can just see how it will build up, and then you trim it down. So let's add in. Let's add in some of the colours. Let's grab some of these. Let's see what else we've got. Let's cut a few more. But this would be the nice thing. You could cut as many as you wanted out of your strips and then go, right, oh, I'm going to add a bit of that. Oh, I'm going to add a bit of that. There we go. That one and that one. 4 there. Let's have a nice sort of richer green colour. I've used that one. So what should we have? Oh, hang on. No, let's have that yellow and green one there. You would get a lot of blocks. You'd probably get, let me have a think, 1, 2, you'd get about 25, 26 blocks easily out of your jelly roll, probably more. Hi Karen, how are you, lovely? Hi Eileen. Oh, you've joined after yoga. That was very, very good of you, lovely, having not to join us but to do the yoga. Okay, so like that, and then I can make another one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, oh, let's get that one out of the way, 3, 4, and let's just steal one off another one. Let's go back to, there we go, that one there. a little bit more green. But you can see how quickly this would build up. Do all your cutting, cut out loads of strips. It could be narrower. It might be that you've got a honey bun there and you want to use that up. Let's put this one together really quickly, okay? So we're going to do another little block with these ones and add that on so you can see the effect. Linda, you did brick quilts with your layer cake. Yes, you did, lovely. Yeah, absolutely. They were much bigger. This is kind of a little bit more staggered and improv, but it's very similar to what you did. It's kind of where my brain was going with it, this idea of sort of a brick quilty type look, but with smaller pieces. There we go. Just pop these two together, that one and that one. So you can see the strips, what's that? Like less than a minute to cut and sew your strip. So it'd be a super quick block. Super quick block. And then let's pop that one on the end. So I've got that lit block of 5. There we go. Let's quickly iron that one out, and then we'll just add that one on so you can kind of see the effect a little bit more. And I'll show you the other one as well in a moment. So with that wool one, I cut 2-inch strips, so they are slightly narrower. Okay, so this one I want to go on. So just check out the colour. So I don't necessarily want the white on the white, so I'm going to flip that one. So I've got a little bit more like that. In fact, actually, I don't. Why did I put those two together? Never mind. And again, with this one, I want it to be vaguely in line with here, but I don't want that line the same. So I'm going to drop it just a tiny bit more, like that. Okay. Like I said, don't drop too much. Keep it within sort of an inch variation. Otherwise, when we cut it, you won't sort of be able to get it in. You'll have to add bits to it. So that one's going to go on like that. We're going to whip that down, and then we're going to pretend we've finished it, the whole block, and I'm going to show you how to line it up. What I mean by making sure you don't go too far. Okay. There we go. Again, just control those seams a weeny bit if you can. Just make sure they're lying the right way. I do like something this no nesting because it's very forgiving. When you want to do quick sewing. There we go. And down we go. Done. Okay, right. Bring this back over here. Iron that one out. Just press that out nice and gently, like that. And you can see how quickly that builds up. Okay. Oh, camera. There we go. Sorry, guys. I left you on the sewing machine, didn't I? There we go. So you would keep going and keep going and keep going. And yeah, you need 8 strips. Is it 8 for this size? Yes, 8 strips will make your 16-inch block. You could do smaller. You don't have to do big 16-inch blocks. You could go smaller. Okay. What you want to do then is just make sure that you trim them up to the size that you want. So I'm going to use a big old ruler, but if you've got a 15.5-inch ruler, do 15.5-inch blocks. And the reason I said about making sure that you don't vary it too much is that, can you see, I don't know if you can see, I'm only just in here and I've got my 16-inch there. So I want to, in fact, I'd probably, because I have varied that a weeny bit too much, either cut 16 by 16 rather than 16.5, and I'll end up at 15, or cut 15.5. It's entirely up to you. You can look through the ruler and decide, actually, I want a little bit more that way, so I would trim it there and there, like that. In fact, I'll do that now, because I can still add to this block. There you go, so that way there, and I can easily get 16 out of that, so let's do that. And because I always add more strips to this to make it, doesn't have to be square. It could be a rectangular block for a change, couldn't it? To kind of tie in with those. See, this is what happens when I start thinking out loud. It could be a rectangular block. That might be really nice, actually, to tie in with the rectangular sections, and then you could just put a little bit of sashing in between them. Be really pretty. Ooh, I might do it as a rectangular one. That might be interesting, actually, rather than squares for a change. And then imagine that this is your sash in, you then have sash in there and another rectangular one, etc. So it's a really quick, like simple little one today. The idea is that you can use up a jelly roll or jelly roll strips, or use up, like brick, scraps and stuff. And how different it can look depending on what size pieces you make. So this was the wool one that I did, which I deliberately like curved my seams as well. So where this one is quite structured and exact, the whole point of this was when I was sewing them, I kind of curved my seam a little bit as well, because I wanted that really, really, look at the fluff on it already though. Oh, that's annoying. It's from the jelly roll. The idea was that it was, I'm using wool, which is much thicker to sew with, and it's not particularly forgiving. So actually doing slightly curved seams. So what I mean by that is when I put the two together, instead of sewing straight as a 1/4 inch, I just kind of wiggled slightly and then turned them out. I just cut into any slightly bigger wiggle. It wasn't a particularly big wiggle, it was a small wiggle, just to give that kind of wonky brick wall effect. Okay, so that's it for today, my lovelies. Real quickie, because I got lots to do. So we're doing, staggered. Oh, sorry, come back here. There we go. Hopefully I'm over here now. So real quickie today, a little bit of a staggered ladder. Okay, so you can do them that way, or you can do them that way. You can make them into squares. Really, really quick for jelly rolls and scraps. Or do it. This was smaller. I cut these at 5 by 2 inches, these scraps. Okay, they were 5 by 2, so you can see it's kind of, gives a different effect again. And using the wool and the darker fabrics makes it very different to using the structure of a jelly roll. But have a play around, and I'm going to put a challenge post on, which is show us your scraps. So check out on the main page. I'm not going to put it into Gigglers, it'll go onto the main page, and we'll do a bit of a challenge post, which I will pull next week on Tuesday, on the 1 o'clock, to give you a chance to put some bits on. Sarah will be here tomorrow. She has got a really cool project, actually. It's a travel crossbody bag, which is like, it's really cool. From what I can see on the pictures, it looks excellent. So join her tomorrow, and I will see you next week on Tuesday. Hope you like the pale colours. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's called the Shores, Kate. We've got it as a couple of jelly rolls left, but we've definitely got it on the bolt as well. Don't forget those little deals on the charm packs if you want them, and I will see you next week. Have a lush weekend. Hopefully this rain will stop. We might, actually no, if the rain stops now, it's going to go icy, isn't it? Ugh, don't like that bit. But anyway, see you soon. Bye.